Hello, guys, how are you doing? And welcome to a new story. Hope you like the previous ones. Please subscribe, comment, and like the video. And if you have any suggestion, let me know. Today's story is about it's a different type of story. It's about a girl who lived in Syria. This story happened 1999. Yeah, I think it's 1999. And it happened in a country called Syria. Of course, you heard of it after the recent war there and the destruction. So this girl lives with her father, and her mom died. The girl has a sister from a previous mother that has been divorced. She's already married with kids. But the girl in our story, her name is Layla, the one who her mom died. This girl lived in Syria and she was pretty. And most girls in the Middle East or in the old days, probably until today in the rural areas, girls marry between 15 and 20. Most of them. If she passed age 20, 21, 22, 23, she considered a maid, believe it or not. It's unfair, but that's how it is. Pretty girls, lucky girls get married young. So Layla never got married. Guess why? This girl, her mom had an affair while she was married to her dad. The dad found out, and he killed the mom and her lover at the same time. In the Arabic culture, they have something called honor killing. If somebody brought shame to the family or to the husband or to the wife, they kill them. You know what I mean? If they had an affair while they were married, or even if they are not married, that brings shame to the family, so they kill the girl or the guy. Mostly it's the girls. So they clear out the family name and they did the right thing, so they get rid of the whole scandal. Of course, it's not encouraged by the faith. This is an absolute cultural thing. The government is fighting this old, ignorant habit. There is a law against it now. People go to jail and they get imprisoned, but in some countries like Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, probably Egypt, probably Bedouins, anywhere, they lose their minds and they kill the girl if they heard anything that she messed up the family reputation and the family class. Maybe you don't know this. It's like the Indian culture, Arabic culture. They have a family class and a family name they have to maintain and keep. Otherwise, they lose their power in the society. Anyway, long story short, this girl, year after year after year, years passed, and nobody would ask her for marriage because of her mom story. People would come sometimes and ask for her hand, or strangers who are outside this town that she lives in. They come and ask her hand for marriage, and then when they hear about the story, they call the dad apologizing that they cannot go through with the engagement. And the poor girl, she's polite, she's amazing. Her dad is an amazing person. Her family, all of it is amazing, but the dad really killed the mom, but he has a really good morals, good reputation in the town because he's a businessman and he helped people and donate. But the girl stayed single. Anyway, one day the dad decided to buy a new car, and he wanted to take his daughter with him to take her opinion to pick this car. The girl went with her dad, and they were going around. She was having fun. She didn't understand why her dad took her with him, and she doesn't have any experience in cars. But he just want to get her out of the house or have a dad and a daughter one-on-one time. And she will be in his car. He takes her around. So he thought she should have an opinion in picking up the car. And he loves her so much, actually. In the car shop, they met a handsome young guy. He has a really good reputation of being honest, sincere, polite. Everybody loved him at the company. He had a high sales rate because of how amazing of a person he is with the customers. That guy, his name is Arif. Arif, as soon as he saw Layla, oh my God, he lost his mind. You know why he lost his mind? Because when he was a teenager, and you know teenagers love, it's crazy. When he was a teenager, like in high school, he loved his neighbors. He loved his neighbor's daughter. Every day he was waiting for her to come back home. He was watching her going to the school. They grew up, they finished high school. They went to college. He was intending to marry this girl. He couldn't wait until he graduates and ask her for her hand. They were smiling at each other. But the girl died, unfortunately. So for guys, probably when they fall in love with a girl, especially in their teenage days, they never forget her. And if there is any girl that has any feature of her, like her face or her freckles, or if she looked like her in her face, they would fall in love with this random girl just because they were in love with the girl that she looked like her. And that's what happened exactly. He doesn't know Layla, but he was head over heels, or as you say in English, heels over head. I'm not sure. But he fell in love. And of course, the father didn't buy the car right away. He kept coming back and forth. They had to sign the contract and go over the terms and conditions. So they have been coming and going to this car shop for a couple days. So one day, Arif called the girl dad, and immediately he told him, "Sir, I have no introduction. I don't know how to approach this topic, but I have good intentions toward your daughter, and I liked you. Can I come over and ask her for marriage and ask for her hand?" And usually in the Middle East, that's how it is traditionally is being done. You don't go to the girl. You go, of course, they don't date, but to show good intentions, they go and talk to the parents. "Hey, we want to see your daughter. We intend to marry her. Can we see her or hang out or ask her for marriage?" Usually the hangout happen after the engagement. So, and it's so they announce the engagement, and everybody known that this girl is spoken of or reserved for this guy, so nobody asks her for marriage. Anyway, he welcomed him and he told him, "Okay, sure, come over. But before you come over, I want you to take your time and ask about her." And the guy said, "No, I don't need to ask about her. I'm sure about my choice. I have seen you." And the father told him, No. You have to take your time. Go and talk to your parents, ask about us, and then come back. And you are most welcome. The guy told him, Arif told Arif told Layla, "Dad, yeah, of course. Thank you so much." And they both hang up. And this is another piece of information about that side of the world, is that they have what you call in the Western world arranged marriage. Arranged marriage is not the right word, actually, because in India it's an arranged marriage because they don't see each other and they don't know each other as a complete, like a blind date, but it's a blind marriage. The parents sit down, organize everything, approve everything without asking the bride or the groom, and they just marry them for the sake of marriage. Because in India, the girl pay the guy dowry. In the Middle East, it's the opposite. The guy pay the girl a dowry. Anyway, so they are allowed to see each other in the Middle East after the family approved the seeing each other if the girl is virgin. Then they see each other before the engagement in case they want to see if they like each other or not, just the physical appearance, especially the girl. Because they are covered, they are conservative, so they have to see each other and see if they like each other. If they like each other, they go ahead with the engagement. So it's kind of not completely arranged marriage, because they have to get the girl approval. Like when they do it in the court, they ask the girl, do you really want this guy or are you being forced? And the girl, she say, no, I want him. In rare cases, they are being forced or going through an arranged marriage where the girl never seen the guy, probably in the Bedouin culture or rural areas. Anyway, so that in that time when the guy was looking around, asking about her, there was rumors in the town even worse than Layla's mom death or murder, which is that the people, when they start spreading rumors, they add a flavor to it. They take out some events, they add some events. One of the events they added, and it's not true, they said, oh, Layla is not even the biological daughter in that marriage. And they were accusing the dad that this is not your real daughter and that she's probably the daughter of the guy he killed. But that's absolutely not true, because he loved his daughter. Everybody knows it's his daughter, and it's his biological daughter because she looked like him exactly. Anyway, the guy Arif went and looked around and asked around about Layla and her reputation, her family, until finally someone told him, what do you want with this family? Her dad killed her mom. The mom has a bad reputation. She escaped with another guy while she was married. It's not a good family or girl. And of course, some people will say this stuff, but Arif didn't care. As soon as he heard this, he said, oh, wow, now I know why the dad asked me to ask about her, then come over. Because usually when parents receive that good news or that long-waited for call, they say, yeah, welcome. And then when the guy come and with his family and express their intentions for marriage, then they go and ask about the girl, and the girl ask about the guy, and vice versa. Because they initially like each other for the look, probably, or somebody recommended the girl or recommended the guy. Anyway, the guy next day immediately called her dad, Layla's dad, and told him, we are coming over to ask your daughter hand for marriage. The father said, welcome. But don't come tomorrow. It's not a good day for us. Come over after tomorrow. He wants to give his daughter time to get ready and clean the house and stuff like this. Anyway, long story short, they got married. And Arif could not believe his eyes that she's in his house. They lived like Romeo and Juliet love story. He knows her flaws. She appreciates him accepting her with her mom bad reputation. He loved her like no man ever loved a woman. They had 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 girl. And Arif was a poor guy, but with his experience in financially, but with his experience in selling cars in his old job where Layla's father met him, he gained some experience. And then years passed and Syrian war happened. And he felt trapped in the country. He felt like he's ambitious person. He has so much experience. He felt like he needs to leave the country to make more money and look for a better life for his little family. Of course, Syria, not all of it was destroyed, and the area where he was living was okay. Only I think Halibu was destroyed. And if you Googled it, the reports say that city got damaged like no city before in the modern era has been destroyed. It's the most destruction ever happened in the history and in the modern history. It completely got wiped out. It's so sad because the city is very historic. It's over 1,000 years old. It has a lot of ruins. Anyway, so during that time, he tried so hard to move out of the country, immigrate to Europe or somewhere. And actually, Layla's sister immigrated there a long time ago, and she lives abroad with her husband, happy, and she loves the family once or twice a year, and that's it. So her husband paid money to have somebody to help him go through the German borders. He filed for asylum there. They took him in, gave him, because of his experience, he told them, if you can hire me or find me a job there. And you know, when the immigrants go to a foreign country, they get situated by the government. They give them money and a job and a housing. So he got that, and he learned the language. He was really serious. People loved him. He slowly he became known as an honest person. He opened his own shop, and eventually he made money, and now it's time to bring his little family. Now he can afford to bring them to immigrate to Germany. And of course, he learned the language and worked so hard in learning it, and that's how he made it there. Germany is one of those countries like France. People refuse to speak to you back in English. They would speak with you in German. They want you to learn their language and be part of the culture. So he became part of the culture. And the whole family moved there. They lived really happy. There was plenty of money. Everything she wants was brought to her. The kids were comfortable. Layla was happy. Her sister was there. And that's it. Like normal life for any immigrant, working hard and coming back to his family and home to provide for them, and that's it. But one day, Arif was always outside the house. You know, when you're an entrepreneur, or maybe you don't know this, but having a 9-to-5 job is tiring, and people escape it and have their own business. When you have your own business, it's even more tiring because in the beginning you want everything to be done the right way. I'm sure you heard about this, that you escape your 9-to-5 job, but being an entrepreneur is even worse in the beginning. You can't sleep, long nights, disasters happen here and there, so you have to take care of it until the business runs itself on its own. So Arif was at that phase in the beginning, managing employees, orders, importing cars, exporting cars, anyway. So he was never in the house. So he was worried about his wife being alone, always in the house, nobody's around her. So he thought he should teach her how to drive a car. So he signed her up to a car driving school. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling because I'm translating at the same time. I'm reading the story. I have to write down the story and the details in my own language, and then I translate it to English. So I apologize for that. Back to the story. So she's more independent, so she can go places on her own and see people and go to her friends or take the kids out and go to a park or somewhere when he's absent. He thought she should know how to drive a car, or he should take her to learn how to drive a car. He went home and told her, hey, I think you should go and learn how to drive a car so you can go places and do stuff, and if in case of an emergency you can drive anywhere you want. She said okay. So he took her to the car driving school, and there was this guy, his name is Ayman, who owned this whole business. So she has been going every day or like a couple weeks a day, and she wasn't good at all at the driving. She wouldn't know how to drive. She was probably one of those rare cases where a woman is so afraid to drive she cannot control her feelings and she cannot drive comfortably on the street. Some women are like that. A month passed, 2 months passed, 3 months passed, 6 months passed, and she's still not able to learn how to drive. She kept postponing it. She kept skipping classes. She kept just complaining about it, and he kept insisting on her to learn it. So one day, she told him, I'm so tired, I need to see my sister. I need to go and see my sister. Arif told her, I cannot go now. The business, I have appointments, I have clients. I cannot leave my business at all more than 1 day or two. And she insisted on going, and he told her, can't you postpone it until the end of the year, until I'm a little bit more comfortable? I'll take you by myself. She said, no, I cannot wait. I have to see her now. I'm so tired. I need to see family. Otherwise, I want to go to Syria, back to Syria to see my family. He told her, no, it's okay. If you want to go, I'll book a train for you and you can go. When do you want to go? She said, tomorrow. He said, tomorrow? She said, yeah, why not? I'll pack now and I'll go tomorrow. So he organized everything for her, took her to the train station, and they said the goodbye, and she left. After she left, she wrote a text message on her phone. She said, I miss you, and I love you so much. And of course, you guys think that she sent a message to her husband, Arif. Guess what? The story just started now. Layla did not send the message to her husband, nor to her sister, nor to her dad. She sent the message to Ayman. Yes, Ayman, the owner of the car driving school. So you are right. What you guessed is right. She made the mistake of falling in a snake hands. Arif was a very bad guy. He was from Iraq, I think. He was a very bad guy who has other agendas, who tracked people. His business wasn't even real. His business was just a shell for an illegal work he was doing, pretending he is getting money from car school, from driving car school. So what happened is that during these 6 months, Layla didn't learn how to drive a car. She was just spending this time with this guy who owned the school, and she was just cheating on her husband, committing that sin, and she planned to escape with him at the end. They fell in love. The whole time they were just having their red nights behind her husband's back, and they determined to escape and just divorce him and live her life. So the story about visiting her sister is true. She has a sister, and actually the sister called the husband to convince him that to let her sister come and see her, and that she will take care of her and she will come back after she feel better. But the sister lied, and Layla never visited her sister. She was supposed to meet Ayman by the station and just go with him. In the train station, she was texting him, I cannot wait to see you. Finally, our day is coming and I'll see you soon. And he hung up and she hung up, or probably just ended the texting. And in Germany, actually I have been in a train from Germany to France, They don't even check your passport. Once you go to Europe, if it's a Schengen visa zone, they don't even check passport. But they do look into trains sometimes for security reasons. In the bags, or they check your ID or your train ticket or whatever, just randomly. They do that even in buses to see if you paid the ticket, or they ask you for your ID just randomly for security reasons. That day, the police showed up in the train. And it's now Layla's turn, her zone, I mean. So they had dogs. The dogs were sniffing the bags, and they passed all the bags, and suddenly the dogs start barking. And guess what? They start barking at Layla's bag. And the police officers start yelling, "Whose bag is this? Whose bag is this?" Layla said, "It's mine." And she wasn't afraid at all. She said, "Why? What's going on?" They told her, "We need to open the bags. The dogs are barking and we're suspecting something is there." And she said, "Yeah, sure. Look, you can do whatever you want, sir." She was confident there is nothing because there is her clothes and that's it. And actually, a part that I forgot to mention, that Layla even stole a bag full of cash from her husband. Her husband is a very smart man. He wouldn't put all his money in the bank. He would keep a cash on the side in case of an emergency, or his account got blocked, or he needed cash, or if they left a war zone area. So people do these things. They keep cash hidden somewhere in the house in case of an emergency, or currency collapse, or war happened, stuff like this. So he trusted her, but she betrayed his trust, and before she leaves, she took that whole bag of money with her because she was planning to escape and never come back. She was only worried about that bag and about the money that they will see. But in reality, the police, guess what they found? They found bag of drugs. Yes, bag of drugs. And when they showed it to her, they told her, "What is this bag?" She said, "What? I don't know about this bag." She said, "I don't know actually about this bag at all." She means the bag of drugs. Somebody must have planted it inside. They told her, "No, this is your bag and you have to come with us." So they stopped the train. They had to put her down in the police station and to interrogate her. And she was crying hysterically the whole time. "It's not my bag. I don't know anything about this." And actually they had to bring a translator. And the translator was Arabic too. And usually they are from the same culture, or they speak the language, so they can help them, because they understand the culture. They have to be native Arabic speakers, so they deal with the criminals the right way and they understand them well. So this guy came and asked her, "What happened? Whose bag is this?" She told him, "This is my bag, but I don't know about the drugs. I never touched it. I never did anything. This is actually for a guy. His name is Ayman. He gave it to me and told me, a friend of his gave it to me and told me to give it to my friend, or my guy Ayman, the one I'm going to meet at the end of this trip." They told her, "And where is he?" She said, "He's waiting for me by the end of the trip." So they had to put her in a car, go to where Ayman is, to beat the train speed to meet the guy. And they went there and they never seen him. He's not there where he agreed to meet her. She started crying. He said he will wait for me here, but I don't see him. The police officer says, "Okay, come back with us to the police station. The guy's gone. You might be lying. We have to look into this case more and more. Do you have his phone number? Do you have any proof of what happened between you?" He said no. She said, "No, I have the text messages, but the bag, when he gave it to me, it happened in person, and with a phone call on the phone." So they told her, "Since you don't have a proof, then you have to go back with us to the police station." And she started crying hysterically. They told her, where is your family? She said, my husband is back in my town. And please don't call him. Please don't tell him. He has nothing to do with this. She was so freaked out that they will call him and tell him that she knows she has an affair with this guy and about the drugs. And she actually collapsed on the floor crying, but they had to call him and tell him. So the police officers called her husband. So the police officers called her husband and told him, hello, your wife is here with us. We need you to come over immediately, as soon as possible. He said, why? What's going on? And they told him the story, and he said, impossible. That must be a lie or a mistake. My wife is a good woman. You must be racist. You hate Arabs. You know the story. He thought they framed her. You hate Arabs. You must have been framing my wife. I'm coming over right away now. And he hung up. The husband went like crazy because he loved her so much. She's like the love of his life and the mother of his kids, and this is like a massive disaster. Being caught trading drugs in a foreign country, of course she's gonna get deported. He's gonna get deported. It's a massive problem. Probably go to jail or get assassinated. So he went to the police station and like his feet couldn't even carry him there, freaking out about his wife. And they had to calm him down. They told him, sit down. They told him the whole story. His wife was crying. And she told him, yes, that's true. And when he asked her, and the husband collapsed in the police station. He could not believe his ears, that's his wife, and he did all this. The police officers didn't interfere in the matter. They didn't arrest him because he didn't do anything. He excused himself and he said, I have to leave. Before he leave, he divorced his wife. In the Middle East, if you want to divorce your wife, if you have the intentions, you tell her, I'm divorced, you are divorced, like loud and literally, and the divorce happened at that moment. The only thing is left is to document it in the court. If the husband told his wife, you are divorced, it's done. He cannot touch her, she cannot come back. It's not in the law, it's just a cultural thing. They known in between people. But in the faith, the divorce happened in the mosque, in a piece of paper, and then that piece of paper gets taken to the court, to the government, for the government to document it and recognize it. Anyway, when he told her that, she lost her mind. She collapsed on the floor crying, no, please, don't do that. He told her, no, I cannot live with you. I cannot see you anymore. I don't know who you are. Things ended between us, but for the good days we had together, I'm going to pay for your lawyer. I'm going to help you with this matter, but you cannot come back home and we cannot be married anymore. Layla, of course, gave the name, Ayman name, to the police officer. She gave them his business name. Of course, the police officers went to the business looking for him to arrest him, but he was long time ago gone. He left Germany, all of it, and escaped, and no one knows where he is or where he went. Probably he didn't leave Germany, but he left his business, and he's nowhere to be found. Of course, she's now to blame, and it's unfair for her because she didn't do anything, but there is no evidence. Germany sentenced Layla to be in a prison for 7 years. Of course, Layla collapsed and lost her mind. They thought she is crazy. Really, they took her to the hospital. She got diagnosed that she has a nerve breakdown. She's completely sane and that she's not crazy and she should be put in jail to finish her sentence. This happened in 2017. 7 years passed now, 5 years passed now, so she still has 2 years until she get out of the prison. Her husband remarried again and he's happy. Um, um, Layla's life ended, of course. After she finished her sentence, she has to leave Germany. She has to get deported. Ayman got caught in a human trafficking case, and he got probably, I think, assassinated or got imprisoned, and that's the last thing we heard from him. And that's the end of our story. It's really sad, it's really unfair, but the bottom line or the moral of the story is that if her mom did the mistake and she repeated the same mistake, she didn't learn from it. She shouldn't have done that. Stories happen in our life, so we learn from them. And that's it. Take care.